or so the Germans would have us believe.
Hey everybody, this is Perch. You know, with all the election stuff going on, people very fixated on midterms. There's a lot of back and forth around, how much social issues are going to play. Are people caring about this item or that item? It will be interesting to see. I think that, when all is said and done, whichever party is able to get their people to the polls is the party that's going to do well. Whether it's you're going to get out the older generation, whether you're going to get out the younger generation, if you can somehow manage to get big blocks of people, then you're going to win. Anyway, that's what's going to happen. It's going to be about that. And as people have talked about, the various issues, most people are not one issue candidates. And so I think you're going to see this is an enthusiasm issue more than anything else. But I may be wrong. Who knows? Who cares? Too much about politics, but definitely about kind of what motivates people. We have this mail. It says, "Hey Perch, I'm not sure how to exactly say this, but I'll try my best. Are that many people in these companies actually quote unquote woke, to use the parlance of our times, or do they basically just say the current year thing? I've seen interviews from years back with guys like Jim Lee, Scott Snyder, Pete Tomasi, and a lot of the Marvel guys too, like Casada, and they always seem like just normal people. I don't believe in 2010, Jim Lee was walking around the office like every day we don't have a gay Green Lantern is a day we're failing America. It never happened. It was especially out of left field for me as a longtime Tomasi fan when he returned to an anthology and focused on a non-binary story. I've read pretty much everything Tomasi at DC, and it just seemed off. And I do remember when he had trouble getting back with DC a while ago, and I worry that this is like I see the writing on the wall with John Kent and Tim Drake, I can do that current year thing story. How many of these writers and editors and such are genuinely as socially conscious as they project, and how much of it is just BS that they'd abandon for the right pay and job security? And knowing a lot of these people, it's definitely that last one. You're looking, and it's not necessarily it's disingenuous. It's I want a job writing comics, drawing comics, doing whatever I have to do. I want the editor to pick me so I can do so I can get paid. I can tell the story, whatever it happens to be. And absolutely, I'll just say it a different way. Having been in a number of cons and having been in a number of hotel bars after the cons, the people on Twitter that frequently people call out as being, these big torchbearers for left-wing philosophies and everything else, you'd be surprised how Republican they sound with a drink or two in them. Very, very little of it goes anywhere. And in particular, if you're talking about the labels, I remember, people still get pretty hung up if you call Grant Morrison by the quote-unquote wrong pronouns, even though Grant Morrison, themself, will say he, referencing himself, he will say it. They will say it. Whatever. My point is, and a lot of the people who have kind of wacky pronouns in their Twitter bio, I've seen firsthand calling each other, he, her in the bar. It's performance. Some of it is certainly about, looking good in a hotel bar, certainly. But another big part of it is just it's how they believe, it's their costume. It's how they believe that they need to appear cool on social media and other places. It's just, it's cosplaying an identity. And in many, it's not to say it all is, it's definitely not. But in a lot of cases, it's just like, hey, if you are, you look at some creators who, and I'm not trying to pick on anyone in particular, but you'll see them dress up to, take Instagram pictures. You'll see, whenever you see a creator who's like got a really crazy outfit going on and everything else, that is not how they appear and they show up in real life. In terms of Tomasi and the non-binary story that he did, I think there's probably a couple things at play. I think Tomasi's like, I'd like to write a DC story. I think the editor's like, hey, pitch me a story about a I mean, yeah, I think that's the editor said, kind of pitch me this. Tomasi's like, I like money, and the rest is, as they say, history. That's how it goes. You can say, I wish that people would, stand on principle. They'd be kind of who they are. But that's not really how humans operate. They operate in a they operate in a, I need work. I want to get paid. Those two things are important to me. And when I'm around friends, I want to appear cool and I want to appear trendy and I want to appear like modern and with it. That's how a lot of creators are. You'll notice as creators get older, they stop doing that. You'll notice as they get older, they just kind of start being themselves. You'll also notice that editors and various people within comics start talking about how the older people are out of touch, don't know what's going on, and generally suck. You start seeing that too. So so okay, so if you're a comic creator and you're watching the older generation be referred to as out of touch, senile, all these kind of things, because they're showing up older. What would you do? Would you start to to modify your identity in a sense? Would you throw some pronouns in that Twitter bio to appear like, no, I'm cool. I'm cool. Stay off my back. Please hire me. Of course you would. And so I think that there's a lot of that. Now, but the flip side of this coin is that getting hung up about people's identities and getting hung up on what they're putting on Twitter around kind of various social topics is a fool's errand. The only people that really profit off that are frankly grifters. I know that word has connotations, but if you are somebody who every day is slamming kind of this various creator with this other for a woke identity, you're likely slamming a costume. You're attacking something that isn't real. You're attacking kind of nonsense, and so it's all just, to me, it becomes a bit of a useless game. You've got and look, like I started the video out with the election. People want to appeal to the kids. They want to appeal to Gen Z. And if you go to Twitter and you look at the loud voices from Gen Z, they're talking about all this bullshit. Is that how the majority of Gen Z feels? I don't know. I mean, probably not. And as we wander into a recession and nobody has any money, and things like Netflix and other stuff start getting ads, we'll see how Gen Z. We'll see how they stay committed to the cause. But that's if comics are trying to appeal to that audience because they think that's where the gold is, and so editors are pitching that, and that's how you get work, then yeah, a lot of comic creators are going to put on that costume and off they go. That's where we're at. Is that kind of sad? Yeah, yeah, it's pretty sad. But there you go. Such is life. Anyway, let me know. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Maybe you think that everybody is 100% committed to the cause. They would stick with it through thick and thin. Let me know if you think that too. By all means, tell me I'm foolishly naive and thinking that a lot of this stuff is just one big scam. But I can't wait to read it. Anyway, thanks for listening.